Hey, this is Mike from Bitcoin.com here in Tokyo, Japan at the Satoshi's Vision Bitcoin conference. I'm joined by Chris Pacia, developer at OpenBazaar. How you doing, Chris?
Hey, pretty good, thanks.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about, you spoke this morning, or I guess this afternoon. If you could give us the title of your speech, sort of what it was about.
Yeah, title was, I went back and forth on my title. It was called Closing the Loop. It was kind of about how OpenBazaar can help kind of create a self-contained ecosystem where we can just kind of buy and sell and trade in Bitcoin Cash directly without having to kind of cash out for fiat.
Oh, cool. Like a closed-knit crypto system that
Yeah,
doesn't rely on sort of...
Closed in the sense of we keep it all in crypto and we don't have to go back into like the traditional fiat economy.
Okay, before we sort of break down what that entails, tell us and our audience about OpenBazaar in general.
Yeah, OpenBazaar is kind of like a peer-to-peer eBay. It's basically the goal is to kind of try and create sort of a free trade zone where people can trade whatever they want. There's no man in the middle there who can censor that trade or prevent people from doing it.
Okay, and as a user of OpenBazaar myself, I know that it requires downloading a client basically, which acts as a, could we say as a node? And how exactly, because we have eBay, so why might one be interested in OpenBazaar?
So, I mean, there's, just from like a pure like e-commerce benefit, if you're like a traditional seller on eBay, there's eBay's taken 10% cut of all your transactions. With OpenBazaar, we don't take anything. You're trading directly with the other people. And of course, because we're using Bitcoin Cash, you're not going to pay like fees to PayPal as well. So, as a seller, you can look at that. I mean, that's like what, like 10, 12, 15% savings. And, if your profit margin is only like 2% to begin with, you're like, profits are going up by like 4 or 5x or something like that. And then hopefully from a buyer perspective, some of that can be passed on to buyers. And hopefully too, from a buyer perspective, you'll be able to find things on OpenBazaar you won't be able to find elsewhere, because these other platforms, they set their own terms and conditions for what they're going to allow to sell. There's quite a bit of interesting stuff that you otherwise could buy that is just not going to be found on Amazon or eBay.
Right. No, that's cool. I can see why, for a merchant, obviously you're affecting their bottom line. They're going to get 10, 15, and more % on sales. I'm wondering if in your sort of development, research, and like user feedback, are you thinking of ways again to incentivize buyers, right? To instead of going to traditional e-commerce to using such a system.
So that's definitely the hardest part for us, is the buyer side. I think we have a pretty compelling case to the seller side. The buyer side's more difficult for us, and I think in general, I mean, it's made maybe a little bit more difficult. We all kind of experience in this space. When you try and get people to like spend cryptocurrency, it's new to a lot of people. So there's that barrier to entry, and kind of trying to find the right value proposition to pitch to people. Certainly, like unique products that can be found only on OpenBazaar, I think, is kind of one route that we're looking to go.
Right. So, in the news recently, we've heard OpenBazaar has had investment. Want to talk a little bit about that? Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, we raised $5 million from, some of it was from our existing investors like USV and Andreessen Horowitz, and we also took on some new investors. Bitmain is now an investor in OpenBazaar.
Awesome. So in terms of the company's now invested, how has growth been? Are you hiring a lot of folks? Are you looking? What sort of roles are you looking to fill now?
Yeah, we are. I think we need to hire probably some more like JavaScript developers. One of the things we're looking to do is get kind of like a web version of OpenBazaar up and running. That'll probably happen in like stages. It's probably going to be, step one might just be kind of a gateway where you can just view the content on OpenBazaar on like a normal web browser, and then step two will enable buying inside the browser, and then step three, the ultimate goal, is I'd like to see like a peer-to-peer node running in the browser, which is kind of like bleeding edge technology. We know the IPFS guys have done a lot of work on, they built this JS IPFS library to basically run a peer-to-peer IPFS node in the browser. And so we can use stuff like that to build OpenBazaar on top of. I already have it, so like OpenBazaar desktop nodes they already listen on WebSockets, so you technically can already communicate with the OpenBazaar network from the browser. Just someone needs to kind of put the code together to make it work.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I guess I'd also like to ask, as I myself work in a cryptocurrency company, a lot of people are curious what that's like. Obviously, when I talk to people about it, they have a lot of questions. I'm wondering if you'd like to share what it's like for you to be working in a company focused in cryptocurrency.
Yeah, I mean, it's certainly very exciting. I mean, there's a lot of challenges, a lot of drama. Certainly everything that you want to do is like more difficult when you're doing it in like a decentralized context like we are in OpenBazaar. So it creates like, you almost have to think completely differently than you would in a traditional company. I know, so like we've have a lot of our UI developers come from like traditional web app development, and so then they come to OpenBazaar and they're just like, can't get their head around why we intentionally make it so difficult on ourselves.
Right. So speaking of being decentralized, is the company itself, you are all working remotely?
Yeah, so Brian, our CEO, he's in Virginia. I think we might have 2 other people in Virginia, so that might be our headquarters to the extent that we want to say that. But then we've got people in Seattle. I'm in New Hampshire, one in Australia. Yeah.
So international as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. So give us like the brush strokes for 2018 roadmap.
So we're still working on the app is like starting to become more polished. It's working pretty well right now. I still think like a big focus of ours needs to be kind of improving like the browsing experience in OpenBazaar, because right now it's something that we've been meaning to address for quite a while, and we still just keeps getting bumped down on the priority list. But once that's kind of in place, the app is starting to get pretty like feature complete or feature parity with like eBay and whatnot, and working pretty well. We want to make it, I mean, you can currently use other coins, besides Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, but kind of the quickest path to getting that out was to just, our existing architecture was only one coin at a time, so we just made it, you just swap one for the other. So we're going to be making it so it's more of like a checkbox, like I want to accept this, and this. And that we hope to kind of roll out this year. That's kind of been what I've been working on for the last couple months.
Cool.
There's that. We've got some work going on some mobile apps for iOS and Android, so that maybe that'll come out this year. And we'll see. We're playing around. I don't know if anyone's going to want this feature or not, but we're kind of playing around with like the ability to kind of like list like a listing for like you're selling some other cryptocurrency on there. So it's kind of maybe fitting in a little bit more with kind of like the local Bitcoin model rather than like an actual exchange, but maybe some people want to use that. It was pretty quick for us to put that in there, so we'll be rolling that out pretty soon and see if anyone wants to like buy and sell crypto on OpenBazaar too. We'll see.
That's cool. Might as well try it, right?
Yeah.
So tell us about the OpenBazaar community. Is there a way to sort of get more involved, offer feedback?
Yeah, we can, we interact with people on Reddit. We have the OpenBazaar Reddit. We also interact quite a bit with people on our BTC, Twitter, and our Slack group.
Okay. Not in our Bitcoin?
Not much, no.
Oh, that's too bad. Well, that's all the time we have now with Chris Pacia of OpenBazaar. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
That's all from Satoshi's Vision Bitcoin Conference. Take care.
Thanks.
Carry your own bank with you with Bitcoin, where only you have access over your funds. Send any amount of money to anyone instantly, anywhere in the world without any restriction, for pennies with Bitcoin. Bitcoin.com's wallet offers a secure and simple interface in multiple languages and currencies. Download the Bitcoin.com wallet today.